Pretoria's splinters struggle to rebuild, Portioneur makes her move for Pretoria's secrets. Shapeshifters summoned from the plane of chaos feast on flesh and memories, while the mages of the Conclave Arcana scour the 7 territories. Few will stand against them, but it won't be enough. That's where you come in. You and your cards. Like all new Archons that grant you dominion over bloodlines. Dwarves, elves, gnomes, orcs, and Lund. Craft midnight potions in the Artisan Quarter for a shot at new ultra-rare foils. Flex your collection in battle and earn bigger rewards. The Conclave Arcana awaits. Do you have what it takes?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Splinterlands Town Hall. It is August 19th, about 11 a.m. Eastern. We are right in the middle of summertime, at least where I live. And as usual, we still have a ton of stuff going on, regardless of what happens or where we need to have our resource spend being or reduce. The team keeps putting out stuff. At kind of a crazy rate. So I'm not even going to go into all the things because I don't have them all listed here. I'll let everyone else talk about them. We have Harry that's going to be going through the development update. He usually covers at a high level all of the things being worked on. We'll go to Blaze for the marketing update. Dave usually just jumps in whenever he has stuff to talk about. And then we have Lily, who's going to be showing us some stuff today. So great to see her here as always. For myself, I'm going to be focusing on talking about land because that's what I've been focusing my actual time and efforts on for the most part recently. So for those of you who have been, saying when land for too long, it's really happening. A lot of movements happening on that front. So that'll be my focus. I'll talk about it a little and then we'll take questions as always at the end if you guys want to know more about anything. So without further ado, Investigator, what you've been up to recently?
So in the most recent update, there was a rework of the non-card market and a release of the next conflict card. So the current conflict ends in about 5 days, and then we'll be rolling over to the 4th escalation one not too long after that. Summer Fun also only has about 10, 11 days left to it. So the extended Summer Fun event. As far as upcoming things go, currently working on the Lumina card charity event, which Blaze posted about earlier today, and modern brackets. So those are the 2 main projects that are currently in the works. We are currently doing some testing on in-game trade offers, so that will probably be coming fairly soon. And aside that, there's ongoing work to improve the binder experience, as well as try to improve the experience across the site and the game overall. I think those are the high points. I'm pretty sure that Lily Fire is going to go into more details about some of the things that they're working on with binders, and Blazer Dave will probably talk a little bit more about the upcoming event.
Cool, thank you. That was brief but good, and we'll let everyone cover everything else in detail. So Blaze, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. It's great to see the enthusiasm in the chats. Everybody showing off their new skins that happened with the Visions of Verico. Really fun. I'm getting ready to activate the rest of my lands, and hopefully everybody else was able to get theirs activated so they can get those monthly skins. And then also with the upcoming trading, I have some Visions of Jericho cards to trade. So I'm looking forward to getting to trading. Maybe I'll just wait for that to come around to make it easier to get some trades in with you guys. So yeah, that's really, really fun. I'm glad to see some people already pulled out the Samurais, the 1 of 5s. There's only 5 of the Samurais circulating, and all the other cool stuff. So let's head on over. It's been a very busy last 30 days for the team, and with the help of the community, we've been pushing out a lot of really cool stuff. Number one is, as Harry mentioned, we have Grim Dave the Unbent getting ready to hit the battlefield in about 5 days. So you still have time to get your wagons going and figure out what you're going to do with the rewards at the end and on what buckets you're going to choose for the draws. That's coming right around the corner. So get everything ready. Get ready to recharge your wagons and so on. And then the announcement for the fourth one was already out. I'll cover that shortly. But one thing is the Arena Vanguard event. Oh, that was so fun working with you guys. It's one of the coolest things we've done recently. Working with everybody, iBlast and King, and all of you guys just sharing everything on socials. But yeah, it's been really fun. Also, I see that King's card is pretty good on the battlefield. It's fun seeing you guys share your challenges. I need to go pick up some myself. But yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Arena Vanguard was a set that was introduced to the Frontier mode that we have. They are foundation cards, and there's one legendary Archon, which is Gold Matters card. It's a Rundrak Gold Warden. And then Ink, a big supporter of the community, always retweeting people's things and jumping in the Twitch chats and communicating with everybody and sharing all the good stuff happening in Splinterlands. And his popular Ink angle, every time he gets a card, he shows it off on X. He's got a dragon character in the game called Valok, I believe. I'll have Zekrom, like, have a course one day on how to pronounce all this stuff because he is the teacher. So iBlast, same thing, man. You're kicking butt. I appreciate all the help you've given us to the team, like little things we're working on, like the sticker project and little ideas that you've had that you helped us bring them to life, and just communicating with us and sharing your energy and passion for the game. Thank you very much. The other cards are McVeer, streamer on Twitch, always having fun. I believe you're in Australia. Fun to catch you when I can. Ime Wunti, he's got Khan. It's a magic card. So go look into it. We also have King Aramis, Faded Glory, and Buns and Caps. Buns, Bags, and Caps, they all have cards. So go dive into it if you haven't seen it already. Go ahead and post it in the chat, guys, if you guys have cards to show off. Lily has some cool things to show off as well, upcoming with the stickers that I'll tie in with all that. But a huge thank you to everybody, all the streamers, content creators. You guys are all kicking butt, having fun. It's great to see. Let's see, Visions of Jericho. As you guys all know, that came to an end, but we had a proposal pass recently, and you can still get them on the secondary market. So a lot of opportunity there with those packs still. But the main sale had 65,850 packs sold. That's 1.37 million cards or something like that are circulating, being combined, obviously. But each pack has 20 cards. If you don't have any, what that's going to be able to do is it's going to grant you Glint, or you'll be able to participate in some ultra rare skins that we have. And then also, let's see what's going on with that. Was recently the Visions of Jericho mystery card winners were revealed, and Jeff opens cards: Lorcus, Bugtis, Bitcoin Sig, Lorcus again, and Lone Tree Crypto. I've heard from Jeff, Lorcus, and I believe Bitcoin Sig. And I'll reach out to Bugtis. Let's see if we can get something going this week. But I'll need what you guys need in regards to the character concept based off of the bloodline, the name, the art direction you want to go, and the lore. So get in touch with me and let's get that going. Okay, and then again, the alteration skins are claimable. Harry, I'm not sure if we're done with that page, but I think it was still a little confusing to go to Visions of Jericho and then packs and land packs. Are we working on streamlining that a little better?
Yeah, there's a work on a claim center page to try to centralize those claims somewhere off of the Jericho page, since that's sales over.
Okay. Well, apologize everybody for a couple of Easter eggs that we have to go hunt for, but it's just because we're dishing out so much, and we'll get organized and do some cleanup as we go throughout the next coming months. Escalation pack sale was great. I mean, we sold 445,584 packs out of 500,000. Pretty cool. The remaining 54K packs were sent back to the DAO. Then we have the 8th anniversary Dragonkins. Those are banger cards. I don't know if you guys are playing with them yet, but yeah, they're really cool cards to have. Memorable event. They have the little badge there for the 8th year anniversary. So Tenrei and Suko, they're still available. There's about 20 days left. So if you haven't got some, go pick some up. They're available in credits, deck, or USDC. And Tenrei is 88 cents a copy. 5,080 copies have already been sold, about $4,500 worth. And then the Suiko, the legendary, is $8.88 a pop, and over 1,000 have been sold already, around 9,000 in sales. Okay, let's see what else. We have Lumina. We recently announced earlier today that it's important to us in our community that we're going to have a special land card dedicated to Lumina, the daughter of our longtime community member, Dwayne Cunningham, who you guys may know as Infidel 1258. He's a big reason I still play this game and I'm here. In the early days, I watched his streams or his YouTube videos nonstop in the background while I was doing my crypto projects, and him and Aftersound and so many other community members, Walking Keys. You guys were just all a great inspiration back in the day when I started getting the game going. I really appreciate all of you. And Infidel, we're sorry for your loss, man, and we love you. So we have a card that's going to be coming out early September. It's going to be a max level card. The regular foils for $35, and it's going to go on for 1 week. Most importantly, 100% of the proceeds donated go to the Canuck Place Children's Hospice. And we'll be getting more details on the card closer to release. So within the next week or so, we're going to have the weekly or the 1 week sale for the regular foil, and then followed up by the special foils. So we'll have all the details on that soon. All right. And like to say also the fourth conflict, El Jefe, is around the corner. So Jeff, cool card. Really looking forward to this. You already created some buzz in the tavern with your card, and it is pretty crazy. I know that Lily and I, during testing, I think she had fueled my Grix. I think it was cool in a way, but then my whole team got, I didn't have Invigorate, so my whole team got weary, which wasn't fun. But it's a really cool card. These new escalation conflicts are really bringing in some diversity into the battlefield. So yeah, the other legendaries just about to go live. I think it's next Thursday. Yeah, the Thursday after Dave's card comes on board. So it's 0.25 chance for a guaranteed 400 entries. Okay, let's see. Battle for Praetoria. That's where a lot of our energy is going. So in addition to all the updates and upgrades you've seen in the game, our team has been hands down building Battle for Praetoria, and it's coming together very, very well. There's a lot of surprises in there. It's really going to shake up the battlefield. We have some new stuff coming into play that's going to add value to older cards. Really, really excited about it. And it's been a great experience building. We've got a lot of new tools to help us put this together at a better rate. And Royal, myself, Lily, Clem, Alonzo, Clay, Harry, Dave, and then we have Tyler. Also, on a side note, Tyler, great job with Clem on the skins. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's a lot easier to purchase skins nowadays with that UI upgrade. So yeah, there's so much happening, ladies and gentlemen. Last thing, let me just touch quickly on season 187. Last season, we had, let me see, 187, 188. 188 is at 5,351 players, and the season before was 5,225. So a little uptrend there, pretty cool. A little 2% increase or so. But it's good to see. I think that number dipped below 4,000 for a while, but now we're above 5,000. Let's see if we can keep it that way and keep it heading in that direction. So, and that's all thanks to all you guys. We're not doing any crazy marketing campaigns. We're just doing the good old grind, word of mouth, and spreading the joy and actually having fun playing the game and telling our friends. It was so great to see After Sound bringing back Darkest Night and watching him go through our collection screen and get excited just like we are as we build it to see it come to life. So great to see old players come back. Welcome back, man. And After Sound, thanks for all the positive energy lately. It's been great. I spoke to him the other day, and it's great to see everybody excited about where we're going. Okay, and I'll end it at that. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I kept being like, "Oh, okay, that's it. Now let me unmute and start." And then you're like, "And then we have this, and then there's that, and then you know."
Yeah, I want to actually comment on a few things that he
Go ahead.
said. One, on the escalation packs, this doesn't get talked about very much. I see a lot of conversations. I've had a lot of conversations, but the number of packs we sold, a good chunk of that was in SPS. So if you just multiply 444,000 packs times 350, you get over 150 million SPS. That is a lot of SPS that really solidifies our system going forward. I know a lot of people don't really think about it, but being able to make sure this game has longevity, and that we're able to continue to pay out rewards for a longer and longer period of time. There's two ways to do that. One, we can cut the emissions, which is never fun. Nobody likes, when we cut emissions. But two, we can do things like what we did for the set and, for the escalation set and bring in 150 million SPS, which is a significant sum. So I mentioned it to a player a week ago or so. And I said, look, we're still doing like stuff like SPS buybacks. He's like, what buybacks? I didn't hear about any buybacks. Well, I'm letting you know that's what that is. When we offer something and people pay in SPS and it goes to the DAO, then that SPS is now able to be respent in the future, which again gives us more solidity and long-term viability. The second thing I want to say about the Lumina card, and I know Blaze had a whole bunch of things to talk about. All the funds, and I'm just going to repeat part of it, all the funds are definitely going to go to charity. So whatever's purchased, whatever you spend, all that money is going to go to the charity. And because of the fact that we're making it a max level card that you're buying, it's $35 minimum. However, we also have a auction and a raffle. And the reason for the auction and the raffle is for those that want to spend less, particularly for the raffle. So let's say you can only contribute, let's say you want to contribute, but $35 is a lot of money to you. Then, you can contribute $2, or $1.50. You can just buy some raffle tickets. There's only going to be one card in the raffle. So obviously, if you buy one or two raffle tickets, you're probably not going to win. But the idea behind it is to give people, everybody, no matter what size player you are, an opportunity to donate to one of your fellow community members or in respect of one of the community members. So that's why we designed it the way we did. The card will be a land card, so it will have the foreman, the building foreman, attached to it. Other than that, the abilities are going to be rather mute. They're not going to be anything crazy. The reason why we're doing the card is out of respect, not to break the game or provide anything massive. It's more respect, to Dwayne and his family and the people that worked for them. So it's a tribute type situation. So I just want to clarify those 2 points. And as far as the things that team is working on, there's actually more than what they're going to talk about today. But they're really exploring, doing a lot of things. Harry's a trooper. Like he's not only doing what needs to be done for his end, but he's helping all the other people that need to do things. So, for instance, he's helping Lily on the things you're going to see come up. Royal, Royal's got a lot of things going. Blaze has got a lot of things going. There's a tremendous amount of work that's being done. I can't say it enough. Keep in mind, we have cut the staff about 75% from where we were this time last year. So we've gone down 75% and they're still pumping out at this kind of pace. So make sure you guys understand and recognize, the dedication that it takes to do that. The people that work here on the team, they're 100% all in on making this project succeed. So I just want to point that out. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really express, how much we've had to cut and, unfortunately do, but then to still have the team and the output that we do. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, every other project just shuts down long, long, long before this point. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's made possible not just by the team, but by all the players, all the community members. Obviously, like the team would have no point in being here doing any of this if it wasn't for you guys. And like Blaze says it a bunch of times, it's just all the stuff that you guys do. I might not be the most like interactive, but I watch a lot of the stuff. I see a lot of the posts on Twitch, on X. I mean, um, like just seeing all that stuff going on, like even when I'm like annoyed or upset about things, and then you go and you see people posting, oh, I got this card, or like, oh, I'm doing this stream or doing this giveaway, or like whatever it is, then it's like, oh yeah, this is really cool, like let me get back on it and help with land more, rather than just pissed off and like why am I doing this type of thing. So like that's the type of stuff that keeps the whole thing going. So I guess that's the job of the community is make sure to keep putting out all this stuff, posting whenever you get the stuff, doing streams if you're a streamer, whatever it is, because that's what, like, at least for me, I think probably goes for most of you guys, but like kind of keeps us going to do what we do. I've also been just generally encouraged. Dave, you mentioned sort of like the amount of SPS that was spent and all these things. I've been encouraged by everything that's been going on, with asset prices and activity and all that stuff. Like, I feel like we've been trying to turn a corner for a really long time that we've been unable to turn. I don't want to like claim any victories yet, but I feel like we're at the cusp of maybe turning that potential corner to going back into growth, rather than the opposite. So I'm very, cautiously optimistic about that. And especially it's been, at this time where we don't have any like new big things. Obviously you release a new major set or whatever it is, and there's always a big spike. And then after that it's kind of a downhill until the next big thing. But for the past little bit, we haven't had major things. There's been a lot of smaller things, and things have been starting to pick up, in spite of that. So I'm hoping when we have the next big major things, which there's Battle for Pretoria, there's like massive land update that we'll talk about soon. I'm hoping that plus an already, uphill climb here, uh, is gonna really kick things off more. But anyway, I'll stop rambling here and I will turn it over to Lilyfire, because she's got some cool stuff to show all of you.
Oh, hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on, team. Happy to be here. So just to kind of piggyback off of what people were saying before, I also wanted to just generally thank the community for being supportive of the team, for reporting bugs to us and suggesting improvement requests for the site, because that's a really big thing that we're working on, is just improving the overall UX. So keep dropping those requests in the UX channel. And if you do run into major issues or bugs, please just submit a support ticket, because those get to us a bit faster than the UX requests. So anyway, so I'm not sure, am I sharing my screen?
These lands are my
Oh, there we
bones,
go.
these waters my blood. I've got Pretoria.
I'll just give it a moment. So, okay, great. So everyone's favorite, the most important thing, stickers. Ever since we launched binders, I have been so looking forward to adding even more stickers so that people can customize their binders, share them with, send stickers to other people, and just have a generally good time. So here, I'm going to just drop the link for the post into the Discord chat, and we'll just go over it together. So long story short, we wanted to add a way for the community to create and essentially sell or allow other players to craft their very own stickers, to be placed in binders. So for our first iteration of this, we are opening the door just for our influencers. That's people who actively create Splinterlands content on social media, get the word out about us, things like that. And also gold tier members of the ambassador program. So for this first release, creators can submit up to 5 stickers for review, and they can decide whether those 5 stickers will be sold individually or in packs of 5. So for individual stickers, those are going to be 200 DEC or credits each. And then for a pack of 5 stickers, it's going to be 8 DEC or credits. So you get a little discount there if you buy the packs. And the really cool thing about this is that proceeds are going to be split evenly between the DAO and the sticker creator. So of course, we always want to support the DAO. We want to make sure that anything we do is sending funds to the DAO. And we also want to incentivize quality creation. So that's really what we're looking for. There's a influencer sticker form that when you're ready with your submissions, you'll go ahead and click that. And it'll take you to a support form on the support site. And there's a little box in there where you can upload your stickers and just tell us some information about yourself and, decide whether you want individual stickers or packs. So now we're looking for smaller sticker sizes. So we're going for like a 200 by 200 in a WebP format. So longer term wise, we do want to open it up for larger stickers, but there are some considerations for that. So for now, we're just going to try and keep them relatively small. And just so you know, we do intend to open this up to the broader community. So once we open it up, it'll be a 10,000 DEC or credits fee. And with that fee, you'll also get 100 total stickers printed for you. And we just want to, like I was saying, we want to make sure that we're supporting the DAO with everything we do. So that's with the fee. But for this initial release, if you are a gold tier member of the ambassador program, or you are an influencer, you qualify to create these stickers and submit them for us. So if you don't know much about the ambassador program, here, I will drop a link to our support article in chat here. But if you don't know much about it, you find it by going to this drop down next to this gear with your name in game, and you click your ambassador status. And this account isn't really active, but basically how you get involved is you grab your link here. You can hit this little copy button. And then you share it with your friends, share it on social media, wherever else, and just get people involved and signed up. And then once you get signed up and people are joining, you're going to start placing on the leaderboard. Look at all of our referrals. We have, and you also earn credits. You earn all kinds of stuff for this ambassador program. So we're really looking to incentivize more people to participate in that, so that we can continue to grow our ecosystem, because as it's been said before, like new players would solve many of the problems that we face as far as match liquidity and things of that nature. So it would be great if community could do their part to bring players in. And then as far as the sticker submissions go, of course, we're going to abide by our community guidelines. So no profanity, no really illicit images, no swear words, stuff like that. We do have younger people on the site. And then Splinterlands, of course, will retain our sole discretion to approve, reject, or modify any stickers that are submitted. Because of course we have to maintain our standards. So just because you submit them doesn't mean they're going to get approved. We'll do our best to work with you on them. Like if the designs just need to be tweaked a little or something like that, totally fine. But please don't submit really illicit images because those will not be approved. And we might not entertain stickers from you in the future if it becomes a major issue. So I did want to kind of show off a couple of stickers. Ever since binders came out, people have been really, really excited about the project. I mean, I'm excited too, of course. So all of the stickers in this post and a couple of the ones that I'm going to share were created by Bajangles, who's a wonderful community member. I'm sure you guys have all heard and seen his work. So this one, Rent It. Great sticker. Just go slap it on. Slap it on your binder. Tell people they need to rent this card. It's amazing. I've always been a huge fan of Lily Shieldpaw. And just for the record, Lily Shieldpaw is not named after me or anything. It's very specifically not named after me. So don't ask. I mean, I just like the card anyway. So pulling a little kick flip there on the skateboard, super fun. And then I also like this deck flex one because, it can have a couple of meanings because we have DEC in game, right? So, and some of these stickers will be paid for in that. And then, you have your card deck, your deck of cards. So, and then I just wanted to show this one for fun. This is one that I made for Royal Eagle. So we'll get it out at some point. He's got that eagle eye and a little crown. So I just thought that was a fun one. And so I had a great chat with iBlast the other night, and he sent me a couple of really cool stickers for the Arena Vanguard. So this one is Julius Blast. And then we have over here, we have our Ratbound Corsair from Nick Veer. And then we also have Buns the Unseen. Buns, bags, and caps. Yeah, that's all good stuff. I'm not going to show them all to you because I feel like it's kind of nice to leave stuff to the imagination. So when these come out, you will know it. I'm not yet sure if we're going to do like kind of a separate special event for this or just toss them in the shop. But either way, these are super cool. I mean, personally, I think it's a huge flex to take these cards into like high level and modern, like Modern Diamond, and just beat on people with them. So, we're not really supposed to harass people with the stickers, but in my mind, it would be kind of funny to just go slap the sticker over on someone's Heloise in their binder if you take it down. It could be mildly amusing there. Yeah, so those are stickers. I got our announcement. So I guess, yeah, does anyone, Dave or Blaze, did you want to add anything to this whole?
The only thing I would add, Lily, is, when you say influencers or the gold level of the referral program or the ambassador program, just make sure, like, if you don't know whether you're an influencer or not, we're going to be relatively liberal with that. So if you believe you're an influencer, then contact Blaze, and Blaze will, Blaze is the law. So if he says you're an influencer, then you'll be an influencer. And if you want to get 5 stickers out at the initial launch, the benefit is obviously you guys are going first, and it's just a fun way to kick it off. We're going to learn how much interest there is, whether anybody's going to get rich on this or not, I doubt. But it's just fun, right? So that's the goal, to have fun. And then we'll open it up to everybody else who's not an influencer after that. And I imagine we're going to have some really cool stuff. As you can see from what Lily already did, people are already like excited about it, for the people that we've already talked to. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah,
Lily,
for sure. Go ahead.
I received a telepathic message from Dave to say, don't let that sticker with snot on it be released.
Well, we'll see. I feel like you have to give the people what they want at a certain point. So we'll see. It'll be fascinating to see how well these sell, like what the demand is like. And, this is just another way that you as a community can flex your deck by buying these stickers and letting us know that there's demand for them. So if you kind of like go look at our beautifully overhauled market here. You can see where our existing stickers are. Some of these were created by Blaze, and some of these were created by myself. I had a really good time drawing these up. But obviously, you know, when we get our influencer stickers up, we'd like to see our circulation numbers get up a bit higher. So that's a way that you guys can show us that there is demand and that you would like to continue with this project. So
And, and one other thing I want to say about this, and you know, songs that we've done, the Splinter vibes and the skins and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of this is just fun, right? Like at the end of the day, we're a game, right? And you know, it's important that you know we have fun. So not everybody's gonna like say, well, what's the point of buying a sticker? You know, it doesn't earn me anything in game. That's fine. You don't have to buy the stickers. You don't have to create them. But there's a lot of people that do like this kind of stuff. And just like with skins, you know, like there's a lot of people that are excited and went out and spent $4, you know, to get a level 4 Visions of Verico card so that they could get access to the skins that were coming out. And those are the kind of things that, you know, we need to do as a game. We need to deepen our relationship across a lot of different ways. And the other thing I want to say about the binders, we have a lot of things in store for the binders. This is just another one, right? Like we have a whole bunch of things that we plan on doing. Stickers are a component, and there will be many more. So look for that to continue to evolve and deepen as well.
yeah, please do. And you can also continue to drop us ideas in the UX channel. I have like a big master document with ideas from all of the community that we've been working through. So please, like, if you have an idea, let us know. And who knows? I mean, just this last update, we added in a level filter to your user collection, and that came in from Ghostly BG in the UX channel. He asked very nicely. We value politeness over here quite a bit as well, and we were able to slap that in. Super useful when you're going to level your cards, or if you just want to see how strong your deck is. So yeah, keep it up. So anything else about stickers, or shall we move on to another topic?
Go ahead and move on. We're good.
All right, fair enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lily. It's awesome. I was pleasantly surprised about a month ago, shortly after binders came out, and I think it was MA1T threw a large llama sticker on my binder. That was entertaining. So it is fun. I mean, the binder stuff and the sharing, you know, stickers. It's, yeah, like Dave said, it's just not everything has to be a part of the economy and all that stuff. Like we can just have, you know, a bunch of stuff in there that's just fun stuff, you know, that for people who want to do it. And I really appreciate you and Royal taking the lead on getting a lot of that done. So looking forward to the stickers.
Yeah, we're so happy. So happy to help out with everything. It's been an amazing journey, this whole Splinterlands thing. So great. So shall we talk about in-game trading?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, great. So I don't really have any UI to share right at the moment. We're still going through testing, and we're going to do a little bit of refinement. But, well, long story short, in-game trading is coming. We're shooting for releasing it within the next couple of weeks. You will be able to have a setting for accepting trades. So if you do not want to trade any of your cards, you don't have to. You don't have to see the notifications. You know, you can just turn it off. But if you do want to accept trades, you will be able to, players will be able to go to your account, see your cards, and offer trades on them. And the really cool thing about it is it's not limited to cards. Like you can do something like trade a totem, 5 CA packs, an escalation pack, a couple of black foil frontier cards. Is that enough for a gold foil Rexy? I don't know. Hopefully, because I'm working on my Rex Forest binder, and I really need to fill that out with some alpha gold foil Rexies. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. You will be able to decline trades and type in notes. So say someone offers you something just really, really silly, like, oh, I don't know, a rusty Android for for a black foil arcane. You can just type a note and say, no thanks, try again. Or you can say, no thanks, don't try again. I've seen your collection, but nicely and respectfully, of course. So I'm super excited about this as from a tech support perspective. I can't emphasize enough how often, trades go bad in real life. Like we have scammers, we have people with bad intentions, who might try and get people into trades and then take their assets, not send the stuff. Well, guess what? No more, not allowed, because it's going to be in game. And it will be very, very difficult for people to scam people because we'll be holding the cards, the assets, and then making sure that they go to the right account. So that's all very exciting. I'm personally very excited. I'm going to be making a binder labeled trades. And those are going to be cards that I'm willing to trade because the majority of my cards, like, they either have sentimental value or I just like them. So I only have a handful of cards I actually want to trade, and those will be for very specific things. So this is another use case for binders, so like don't make offers on my gold foil Bela the Radiant because that one's never leaving my account. But you can make offers on some of my gold foil arcane foundation cards, for example. So yeah, anything else that I should highlight there? I mean, it's kind of hand wavy at the moment, but I promise we are working on it.
Yeah, just because that will come out probably before the next town hall, I want to give a disclaimer on that. Just like if you were going to go trade, like the other day, we had to send the Dow like $5,000, and we didn't have the Dow's wallet to send it to. So the first thing we did was send $10. Right? Because you don't want to send $5,000 and find out, oh, I did it wrong, or I had the wrong address. So, standard protocol and always on blockchain is do a small amount first, get comfortable, make sure you know what you're doing, and then, you can start doing bigger things. So the same thing's going to apply here. I imagine in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of what I would call bad deals, where somebody's going to offer you 3 commons for your gold foil alpha. If you're not thinking or you're not paying attention, you could end up clicking the accept button. That's a final trade. Like there's nothing that can be done. So 2 things to prevent against, abuse there or too many problems is number 1, be aware that you don't have to turn it on. In fact, it comes turned off. So if you want to use it, you can, but otherwise it will be turned off so you won't get any bad deals. But then the moment you turn it on, just use the same kind of principle, but make sure you start small. Do small things, get used to it, understand how it works. The UI is not going to be perfect. We didn't wait to design something perfect. We went out and we did it. I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to say, you could give a better message, you could do this, you could do that. I've already had some people make some of those statements, so I know it's coming. So the point I'm saying to everybody just ahead of time, just make sure you start small, have fun with it, and then as you get more comfortable, then you can start doing the bigger stuff. That's all.
Yeah, and that's a great point, especially about starting small, making sure things are working right for you. And regarding the UI too. So one of my favorite sayings is perfect is the enemy of the good. And one of the things that we're trying to work on is just kind of getting stuff out and not getting hung up on perfection. Because honestly, like if we were hung up on perfection, binders would still be in development right now. Like we would not, there is still much, much to do. So at a certain point, you just have to call it done, get it out, get player feedback, and then refine it. And that is what we've done with our market update too. And by the way, the UX channel is suspiciously quiet. Usually, I expected to wake up today and have like a whole page of user requests in there. So, if you have them, get them in. If not, then hey, we'll take it as a huge compliment.
Yeah.
So,
And also, J-Man just asked the question, is this for trading only, not selling on the trade channel? And the answer is we have a market for selling. This is just for trading. So you won't be able to trade like SPS or deck, for instance. So it's our in-game asset. So you can trade totems and titles and cards and skins and all things like that, but you can't trade for deck or SPS and bypass the trading market.
yeah, exactly. Items only. So, anything else about in-game trading we need to cover? And don't worry, we will get a post out with all of the details when it's closer to release, so you'll have more time to emotionally prepare yourselves and prepare your trades binders.
It is coming relatively soon. It's actually
Mhm.
working. It's up on our QA. We've been testing for about a week. We just want to be conservative and make sure we go through all the edge cases and make sure that there's something that we, didn't think about. But it's going to be coming out within the next few weeks. So it's something that I think a lot of people have been asking for, and it's pretty cool. So you're going to like it. Ask Blaze. He's already been doing all kinds of trades out on the QA server.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to take advantage of it. I was even I don't know if you guys know community member Blewett, who has a comic book shop, and I saw him this past weekend, and we did a real life to in-game trade. I got some special One Piece card pack, and then he's gonna let me know what land stuff he wants in exchange for
Nice.
it soon. So, yeah, trading. I mean, that stuff is also just awesome. Generally, when like that stuff works out too. So, very much looking forward to the in-game trading. Um, all right. Anything else for us today, Lily?
Well, I was actually wondering, is there time to do just a brief tech support corner? Just a
Yeah,
couple
go
minutes.
for it.
Wanted to, okay, do you mind if I steal the screen there, Rondon? Okay, great. Yeah, so this is something I've kind of been wanting to add to the town halls. Like when I'm on here, we'll try and take a couple minutes just to talk about random tech support things. So today I wanted to talk about battle bugs and how we investigate and resolve those. So you ever have that problem where you're watching a battle and you're just like, what just happened? Why did that happen? Doesn't look like that was right. There might be a problem. Well, now instead of screaming into the void on Discord, you can drop us a support ticket detailing what happened with the battle and kind of let us know so that we can get things resolved. So I did just want to take you through a couple of things here. So if you go, so we have two different views for the lobby, right? So we have this, the battle mage view, and then we have our dashboard view, which has a bit more stuff in it. So if you go over to this how to play button right here, this kind of just breaks down the entire game in really simple terms. So I'm going to direct your attention to our mechanics tab. So this tab talks about speed, attack order, like how everything is, how a turn order is determined and how attack accuracy is determined. Because one of the big questions we get is like, why did my unit miss? Why did that unit go ahead of the other one? All of this stuff. So all of those questions are answerable here. So basically attack order goes by speed, then attack type with magic first, and then it goes in rarity order, then level, then random. But for reverse speed, it's all flipped, right? So the reverse speed rule set is one that can cause a little bit of confusion, but we have this nifty little chart that explains our turn order here. And then for our attack accuracy, so all of these would stack with each other. And yes, you can get up to 100% mischance if your speed differential is too high. It is possible to just never hit. And that is why you want to use the true strike ability, because that pretty much cancels out all of these. So true strike is a great ability to have to prevent never hitting your target. And I just also wanted to let people know that we do have a full list of abilities with articles attached in game, as well as a full list of modifiers in game. So if you are playing and you do end up with issues and you think there's a problem, you can of course ask on Discord, but then you can also just shoot us a support ticket. That way we can watch the battle. More detail is preferred with the support tickets because, you know, sometimes we get distracted. So it's nice to like have a round number or something where the bug might be. And then I'll just round out the tech support corner by giving a shout out to the whole tech support team. So 37's been working on a bunch of good quality of life things. So I don't know if when you get new cards, you might have noticed that little new glow around the cards. That was 37. Al Clements worked on the market updates along with HTT, who's one of our designers. And Royal's been doing the binder improvements. He's also working on battle bugs, which is, you know, kind of why I'm giving this a little poke here. If you do find battle bugs, we do want to fix them. And then as for myself, I've been working on some stickers, and I've been taking a little detour into Battle for Praetoria and working on some of the character design there, which has been really fun. I read the lore. It's great. No spoilers. But I am super excited about the set. And then, yes, we also claim Investigator because Investi started in support. So he is also, you know, honorary member of the team. He's been helping us out with all of this dev work, being a guiding light and extremely patient. I'm sure some days he feels like he's just a kindergarten teacher teaching us like the alphabet and how to finger paint and stuff like that. But we're just so happy for the team, so grateful for everyone and the community, and big shout outs to Dave, Blaze, and Matt as well for being the brains behind it all too. So thanks everyone, and I guess that's it for me.
Yeah, we really appreciate how much you guys have all stepped up, you know, when needed, and just made so much of this stuff happen. Like all this stuff would not have happened without you guys. I mean, it's not just the big things like the binders and the stickers and all that cool stuff, but like you know, a lot of times forget about all this stuff that's in there, all the details about all the abilities and the attack orders and all this content that for most of the life of the game we just didn't have at all. So really, really good work. You guys are always on top of that stuff, and it shows.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, I guess I will talk about what's going on with land for a little bit, and then I think we can get to questions. Unless Dave will jump in if I missed anything, I'm sure. I talked about this last time too, so a lot of this might be a repeat, but I'm sure you guys will bear with me if you've heard some of this before. Cryptomancer is hard at work on the next phase of land, which is going to be buildings. I feel like the last kind of phase that came out was just adding like a few other resources that we have. You know, the iron, the stone, and the wood, and the aura. I mean, that was like 4 things. So this is going to be like so much larger than that. It's kind of hard to quantify, but you know, basically in the white paper, there's that big flow chart. You know, again, things are not going to be exactly as they are in the white paper. And Cryptomancer's, you know, as he gets time, is going to go through and start updating things. But it's basically the entire like first 3 rows of the flow chart, which is the majority of it that we're going to be implementing. So that's going to be 7 new work sites. There's the 6 for all of the magical resources and the outpost for the occupied plots. So those plots are going to start producing their actual resources that they're supposed to, and not just be used for side things like SPS and Aura. There's going to be 8. I was going to say new buildings, but 8. They're all new. So there's going to be 8 buildings. The mills, the foundries, the runology towers, a bunch of other things. A lot of these names are probably going to change. I know the creative team have been suggesting different names, but the general concepts are going to stay the same. And there's going to be 32, I believe 32 was my count, new resources, from like 4 to 32. It's like an 8 times bigger update, and that's going to be all the magical resources, the essences, the refined resources, like the lumber, the metal bars, the elemental stones, the elemental foods. There's going to be the different types of ores. Um, all this stuff is going to be part of this next update. Cryptomancer is making very good progress on all of this. We've gone through everything and we've like cut out anything that isn't necessary, just to make sure we can get this out as quickly as possible. So again, there are going to be some things that change or work a little differently that were just kind of necessary. Like basically anytime Cryptomancer was looking at something and was like, well, this is going to be a big deal to make, or it's going to take me a few weeks just to do this thing. We just went through and was like, okay, well, can we cut that thing? Can we make it easier with still keeping in the general concept? So yeah, I was thinking about the idea, if you think about it, 32 new resources, the goal of all this is to make it so that you're going to need a ton of trading in the markets. So the hope is that as you go and you try to build all these new buildings and do all this new stuff, you'll be producing certain resources. You're going to need a lot of other resources. You'll be able to just hopefully very easily through the UI go and trade it in the markets, and all these 32 new resources plus the existing resources are going to have pairs with dark energy crystals, and you can easily swap any resource for any other resource, and behind the scenes it'll swap the one for DEC and then swap DEC for the other resource. So the goal is that we hopefully increase the market trading volume, the internal market trading volume, very significantly. That will start generating lots more DEC fees for the liquidity providers, which will in turn incentivize lots more people to provide liquidity, which will incentivize that in order to provide liquidity, you're going to need both the resource and dark energy crystals. So hopefully this creates kind of like a flywheel. I hesitate to use that word as we've used it in the past, and it hasn't always materialized, but that's the goal, is lots of new resources, lots of new stuff to build and create, gets more activity in the internal market. That generates more fees, that in turn gets people to provide more liquidity, and then they need more resources and more DEC to do that. And then it goes on and on. And for all these 32 new resources, there's going to be zero liquidity on day one. So I think I would expect that some people, myself included, are going to try to rush to be the first ones to create these resources and be the first ones to provide the liquidity and just take up all the fees for that. As before more and more people kind of get in on it. It is going to activate the building in a box feature, not the unstable totem one yet, but the building in the box feature, as we're going to be introducing buildings, will be activated for those of you who purchased it with your plots. So you'll be able to use that to kind of jumpstart your new buildings that you want to build, which is good because it's sort of like a chicken or the egg problem. You're going to need the new refined resources to create the buildings. Like you're going to need the iron bars, and you're going to need the lumber and all that stuff, and the elemental stones. But you can't get those resources unless you have the buildings to create them. So the building in the box kind of shortcuts that, lets you immediately, go ahead and just get that level 1 building set up, and you can start producing all the different or whatever resources that building produces. And then you'll need to use those resources to upgrade the buildings and all that stuff. The end goal of all this and all the buildings and all these resources is to start. It's going to be all the things that are currently in the artisan quarter. You're not just going to be able to go in and press a button and create them. This includes midnight potions and the scrolls and marks, tickets, wagon kits, all that stuff. they're going to move out of the artisan quarter, and you're going to need a land building to create them. Or if you don't have the land building, there's going to be an interface where you can just go and see what buildings are available at what fees, and everything. And so you can just choose the building and basically put in a work order. You'll see what input resources are required. You'll see how long it takes, and you'll be able to produce all that stuff. And then, going forward, after this update, we're going to start, adding new things that can be produced through land. So we're looking at ways that we can integrate things in the new Battle for Praetoria set, new card sets potentially that can be used for battling that will be produced through land. We're even, starting to explore the item and spells implementations, with help from AI and things to make that stuff happen faster. So this is going to be, you're going to set up your buildings, which is it's going to take a while. It's not going to be like day one. You're going to be able to just have like max level buildings producing all this stuff. I mean, there's going to be investment required. There's going to be dark energy crystals required, which are planned to all go to the DAO. For every building and every upgrade, you're going to need some DEC. You're also going to need research. So the research is going to change from the current Research Hut worksite to as it's listed in the white paper and the flow chart. You're going to need the Runology Tower building, which is going to need the trifoil runes, which are going to be created through the castles and keeps. So there'll be a little different path to produce research, and you'll need the resources from the castles and keeps to do it. And then currently we have the Aura Lab permits. We're going to kind of expand that system. So every building and every upgrade, we're kind of switching the name to be called blueprints. But you're going to need research to create those blueprints for every building and every upgrade you want to do. Not with the building in the box. The building in the box is going to, I think, include everything for you. But after that, you're going to need research, and it's probably going to be a relatively significant amount. So the goal is that research is going to be a heavily utilized asset going forward as soon as this is released, and that's hopefully going to give additional value to the castles and keeps that are going to be required to produce more research. Yeah, and we're going to look at implementing, or not implementing, but including lots of other things in the game for different pieces of this, including things like Cinder, which you get from burning cards. Rooney are going to be required for certain different things. So it's kind of like everything coming together for this kind of crazy update. And then from this point on, once buildings are implemented and the whole process works, we'll be able to relatively easily just add new buildings in, because the whole plumbing and everything is already built and working. So as we get new things in the game, we'll be adding new buildings and that are required to make all those new things. So it's hopefully gonna. The goal is not to release this big update and then have it kind of sit there for a year plus, and then it kind of gets old and stale, and people just keep producing more and more of the resources, which has unfortunately happened in the past. The goal is, and we're already kind of planning ahead for this, like we release this big new update, there's going to be a little time where everyone needs, kind of scrambles to get the resources and get their buildings upgraded. But then hopefully before everyone's ready, it's going to be like, well, here's this new thing. And you're going to need this building to create that. And here's this new thing. And you're going to need this stuff to create that. So it's hopefully kind of a constant stream of effectively value added into the land ecosystem, as land is going to be involved in producing more and more things throughout the game, which is the idea of it. You use your old cards, you put them on land, and you produce new things in a fun and gamified way. So this is to me the biggest update that we've had to date in actually getting to that point. Another thing I'll just mention, which we've mentioned a few times, but in case anyone forgets or hasn't heard, the buildings I think at level 1 are going to start by allowing 10 worker slots versus the current 5. You'll be able to use more worker cards on the buildings than you were before. So even if you don't have a max level alpha legendary gold foil card. You'll be able to use more lower production value cards in order to still get a high level production for the building. The buildings for this first phase are going to go up to level 5. And at level 5, you'll be able to use up to 50 worker slots on your building. So if you have even just some, max level Chaos Legion cards, you put 50 of them on there, and they can potentially max out the production for the building and compete with players who, have the old Alpha Legendary cards. And we kind of designed it that way on purpose. So the work sites that we currently have and the new work sites are still going to work the same. They're still going to have the same limits and amount of workers, and all that stuff is not going to change. Um, and they'll get the production bonuses from the land and all that stuff. But all the new buildings can be built. It doesn't make a difference if you build a building on a common or legendary plot. That's the rarity just determines the amount of net resources available in the land. So you'll be able to build buildings on common plots. You'll be able to put, like I said, up to potentially 50 workers at level 5. So it'll be a way where players who have joined more recently or don't have quite as many assets are able to compete on the same playing field as players who have all the old assets and stuff, at least for the buildings. I guess additionally, we mentioned the what's it called, the building foreman role, which will apply to all the land cards, including the first set of land cards. There are, I think, 4 of them. The Electrofox land card, the Visions of Verico are going to be the bulk of them, and the new one that's going to be coming out for the charity event shortly. So you will need at least one foreman as in one of the worker slots for each building. And so, if you haven't already, try to get your Visions of Verico card. The higher level the foreman is, the more, production you're going to be able to have on your building. Sort of like the Archon and the battles, it kind of limits everything else. So like a low level foreman is going to limit your building production. So yeah, I think I went through like all the all the notes and everything I written down. I think I covered pretty much everything there. Dave, you're kind of getting ready to jump in here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say on the building foreman, you're gonna have 5 levels. So when you first start your first level, you're gonna have a level 1 building. Your foreman doesn't have to be max at level 1, right? You can use a smaller foreman at level 1, but then when you move to level 2, if you want to get the benefit of moving to level 2, you have to upgrade your foreman as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't have to upgrade your foreman. Oh, if you said if you want to get the benefit, yeah. So the
Yeah.
foreman will limit the building's production. So if you upgrade your building a lot, but you still have a level 1 foreman card, it's going to limit your production, going to make it, not worth it to level up the building. But yeah, like Dave said, if you just plan to have level 1, level 2 buildings, which will be still effective and be able to produce the new resources and all that, you won't need max level foremen working on that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's exciting to me. I've been watching all the back and forth between you and Manser on getting it built out. I know a lot of people have been asking, when is it going to come? Do you want to share with them at least the internal plans?
I mean, I'll let you do that.
All right, well, um, the goal is hopefully before Christmas. So sometime in November or December is the plan. Obviously, that's subject to change. I don't typically like giving updates, but at this point, I definitely want to give people an understanding that we're not talking, 6 months or a year. I mean, this is getting coded at a pretty rapid rate. A lot of the details have been worked through, and quite a few things are actually functionally working now. So if you plan on participating and you need more resources and things of that nature, you might want to get them now versus waiting. That would be what I would say. And Specifically, I've heard people ask about research, Matt, because a lot of people stopped getting research and now it's
Mm.
going to be a different way of getting research. You want to comment about that at all? Like, you're the one that's going to make the numbers. Like, is it a good idea to make sure you have plenty of research?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I talked about that earlier. So, research is going to be an important required piece in all the buildings and the building upgrades. And we're gonna obviously like look at how much research people have. We don't want to put it out and be like, oh, everyone's just got way too much research and it's useless. No one needs the trifoil runes or the runology tower. Like we are going to make it so that the goal is to make everything sort of like scarce and difficult to attain, so people really want to put more into it, put more old cards, put more DEC, put more everything into it. So um that's the old Aggie phrase, like there's not enough for everyone. That is the goal of designing the economy here. We don't want to put out something where we put it out and then everyone's just got everything they need and it's done. We're going to put it out. People who have gathered things ahead of time should ideally have an advantage, but even in that case, we want to make it where like they can't just get to max level everything on day one here. So yeah, get everything you can get if you plan to do all this stuff.
And one other thing that I've noticed in comments that, just as Matt's just talking, I just follow the comments. Like, some people make something like, I got to get a building foreman and I'm getting screwed, right? Because I don't want to I don't want to get a land foreman. Like, the point is, you don't have to make a building. You can continue to mine the resources all you want. I would imagine that resources are going to be harder to get, because there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be mining resources because they're going to want to take their cards and move them over to buildings. So you're going to have less production, from those people. So just because if you don't want to participate in buildings, that's perfectly fine. You can just be an iron ore, king if you want, and mine all the iron ore possible.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The work sites are going to stay exactly the same, so you do not have to participate in buildings at all. You can not worry about any of this stuff and keep doing your work sites. And ideally, the plan is that the resources that those work sites produce are going to become much, much, much more in demand for everyone else who is using them to try to make the buildings. I can talk real quick. I mean, this stuff is kind of in the flow chart. But just like about the different basic resources we have now. So grain is still grain. It's still going to be used in the same way to feed the workers on all the existing work sites. But for the buildings, you're going to need the refined elemental foods to feed the workers. It's going to require it. It's not going to allow grain at all, just because again, that's going to be more complicated to have like two different potential inputs. Um, but grain is going to be the main ingredient in the mill to create the elemental foods. So it's, all the existing use case for grain is still going to be there. And then it's going to be additional on top of that, milling it into all the foods. Um, and then, the wood is going to be used to make lumber, which will be necessary for creating buildings. But wood is also going to be the main energy source for everything. So in the mill that mills the grain into the different foods, you're going to need wood effectively to burn and do all that stuff. In the foundry and all in most of the different buildings, you're also going to need wood. So the use case for wood is going to increase significantly from that. And then there's the stones and the ores are going to be the primary things that you're going to need to build and update all the buildings. So you'll certainly need the foods to feed your workers. You'll need some lumber to construct the buildings, but the vast majority of the resources required for building construction and upgrades are going to be the stones and the ores, because that's their primary use case. And then although this will not be in for phase one, in the not too distant future after that, there's going to be maintenance required for your buildings. So based on how much production the building is actually used for, at some point you're going to need to spend additional uh, resources, and again, primarily the stones and the ores, in order to maintain it and otherwise it won't be able to be used for production. So those basic resources, the utility of them is effectively going to kind of explode when we put this out, as they'll be the base for being able to create literally anything else from land. That's where we are with that.
Matt, on iron, you want to explain how iron's going to work?
Oh yeah, you mean when we add the other ores
Yeah.
also? Yeah. So right now we just have iron, but the plan is that there's going to be a total of 5 different ores. The exact ones are, we have them listed in the white paper, but that they might change a little, the names of them. But either way, your iron work sites the mines will stay exactly the same. But once this comes out, they will start being able to produce all 5 of the ores, and they're in increasing rarity. And it'll be based on there'll be randomness. So it's like effectively your workers are digging in the mines, and you have random chances to find these higher value ores, kind of like in real life. But the more production more production power that you have in your mines, the higher chances you'll have of finding the higher ores. And if you only have a small amount of production, you won't even be able to find the highest rarity ores at all. So you'll try to get as much production as you can available for your mines. And you'll need those higher level ores to create higher level buildings. So the first level buildings will just need the iron. Then as you get to higher levels, you're going to need the higher level, not just ores, but the metal bars. So you'll need to refine the ores in the foundry to create the metal bars, and you'll need those for the construction of buildings.
And one last thing, just because it's been a while since we talked about it, and maybe everybody hasn't heard it. Can you explain about the factories in the queue and using other people's factories and how that works?
Yeah, so I think this is one of the coolest parts is for all the buildings. I mean, the buildings work a little differently than the work sites in that you don't just go and harvest resources. It's sort of like more a real life analog, that you have like work orders. So, let's say you have a bunch of iron and you want to make iron bars, in order to construct some buildings. Um, you can have a foundry yourself, which is great, and then you just go into it and you say, you put in, I want to create 1,000 iron bars, and it'll tell you here's all the input resources you need, and if you have enough, and here's how long it'll take based on the production, and you can click go, and then after the time elapses, you get the iron bars out. But if you don't have your own foundry buildings, you'll just go into the production area, and you'll just see a list of available buildings that other players have, that are available. And players, if you have a building, you can indicate whether or not it's available for other players to use, and you can indicate a fee for other players to use it. So people who want to use it can just look, and they'll see a list of all the available buildings and their fees, and how long it's going to take based on how much production power is on there. You can choose one, basically like submit a work order. You submit all the input resources you need, and then when the work is done, you claim the output, and then the owner of the building gets their fee. And obviously, the castle and keep owners, based on the building's location, will get their taxes out of it too. So I do think also, as a note, castles and keeps should become even significantly more valuable, not just from the trifoil runes, but from all this added stuff. But I think that's going to be a pretty cool thing, and that's how the whole artisan quarter will work too. So you don't have to have land or be involved in land at all. But for a lot of things in the game, you'll just need to go into the artisan quarter, and you just say like, "Hey, I want to create, this, or this," and it'll tell you, "Okay, you need these resources. It's going to take this long." And behind the scenes, you're utilizing someone else's building, and someone who has land and has a building is getting paid, and castle and keep owners are getting taxes. But as a player, just in the regular part of the game, like you're just going and using the interface to craft something effectively. So yeah, that's the plan for how it works.
Cool. I imagine a few people probably have some questions when we get to Q&A, but I think you nailed it.
Yeah, if we're ready for Q&A, are we good to get that started, Dave?
Yep, let's go
Okay.
ahead.
I want to take a quick restroom break. So if you, while we wait for questions to come in, and feel free to start answering them until I get back.
Okay, I'll go on up
Thanks.
a couple levels. All right, so let me get there. There was one before this call. Oh, I gotta wait for Matt Cipher. I'm just gonna copy it and put it lower in the chat so I can get to it later.
Yeah, we're gonna have an action-packed 2027.
Oh man,
I might have to limit my working hours so I can actually play the game. You know?
Yeah, we're not even. We still got action pack 26 coming.
Oh yeah.
All right,
I'm
so
just saying with land coming to life, this is an in-game trading. There's a lot to catch up on.
yep, definitely. Let's see. I don't see any questions before. Oh, there we go. Arpated Gorm, which used to be Arpated Glory. So OFG, will Battle for Pretoria have same conflict system as Escalation, or is it up in the air which system will be used? And along with that, if conflicts will change, what will be done with the lustrous potion? Wood is going to be an important, not just for all beings. All right, so I agree about the wood. In terms of the conflict system, way too early. We're still in the process of evaluating it. I would say, in general, it's going better than Conclave Arcana conflict system. At least there seems to be less negativity. And obviously, people win, they're happy. People don't win, they're not. But, some of the things like the black foil to regular foil spread was a little wide. So we made some changes there. I would imagine some of those things are going to stay the same. Whether we do it exactly the same way, it's up in the air. It's just too early. In terms of whatever the change, what will be done with the luster potion, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll find something to do with lustrous potions. Pretty cool that we can make them. So if for some reason we don't include them in the next conflict, then I'm sure we could use lustrous potions for something else we create in the future. All right, next is Flonny. Is there a plan for community-made skins like the stickers announced earlier? Not yet. There is not a plan, but I like the idea. I like doing things with the community. In fact, we have a couple projects that I'm also working on for the community right now, or working with the community on right now. So whether it's cards, skins, stickers, like the Arena Fanatic set, like there's a lot of things that I want to lean on the community to do. And all that does is leverage us in terms of getting things done. So we're like the quarterback, and we just get more players when the community wants to participate. So I definitely would like that. And while there's no direct plan right now, it's something I think is a great idea. Is Matt back yet?
I'm here.
All right, you're back. All right, Baby Cipher. Question: with Elixir gone, what incentivizes people to provide liquidity to land pools once you add the cost of owning land, building storage, maintenance, maintaining it forever on top of the impairment loss risk? Elixir was the thing that hypothetically offset all those extra costs and made it make sense to continue providing liquidity. Without it, what replaces this incentive? So do you agree with the premise? And if you don't agree with the premise, why? And what's your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a few things. So one, Elixir is not necessarily gone, but we're not planning to implement it in this first phase of buildings at the very least. Just again, our goal is to get this out as soon as reasonably possible. So we went through and looked at everything that was not necessary, and we cut it to make sure that the main stuff gets out. But I could say we don't have Elixir right now, and there's a good amount of liquidity. And what incentivizes people is that the fees are very high. So you get high fees for providing liquidity when people trade. My hope and expectation is that when this new update comes out, there's going to be a lot more market activity, meaning a lot more fees, which will incentivize people to provide a lot of liquidity without needing Elixir. And then, also as part of this, it's not including storage, for example, as part of this update. So that's going to be something in the future. So in the future, if it gets to be a situation where there's not enough incentive to provide liquidity, Elixir or something like it is always still on the table and available to do. But for now, I think there'll be lots and lots of incentive. I myself am planning to provide as much liquidity as I can, especially early on, because I think those fees are going to be really high.
All right, cool. All right, next from MFN Truck. Castle and Keeps get buildings too, or just for the other plot?
No, castles and keeps are going to stay exactly the same. And again, that's the point of what we're trying to do is like not go and redo or change anything that was there, which is going to be, additionally more work on a piece that Cryptomancer himself didn't actually build. So castles and keeps are not going to change. You're going to still, just collect your taxes like you normally do. They won't be able to be upgraded or changed, but you will be able to start when you do collect your resources. You'll be getting lots more resources from all the activity that's happening. Includes all the new refined resources and everything. Plus, you'll be getting the trifoil runes, which will be added. But they won't. Again, this could be done in the future, but they won't be buildings that will be able to be, leveled up as part of this release.
All right, next from Luna, Hive Live. Is the Rebellion PP boost still happening with the BFP rotation? It's been a while and just want to confirm. I believe it should. Matt, do you see any reason why it shouldn't? Meaning,
Yeah, no, that was the plan, and I don't know that we've decided to not do that.
okay. So at this point, I would say that's the plan, and I'm strongly for the boost happening because that's how it was intended. Next, can we get an abstain button on proposals and still record the vote for a more accurate vote? Gator, is that a problem? Is that a big deal?
It's a project that we had no interest in doing in the past.
Right. So when he says, Luna, that it's a project, that just means that something else is going to be pushed away. We got a full plate right now. So while I don't particularly have a problem with having an abstain button, I really don't want to, push things away that we got coming up, to do that.
That's really more of a DAO thing, I would say, also. So if that's something that the community agrees upon and probably at this point would like to fund and develop, that's probably the route to go on for that.
Yeah. 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 That, man, by the way, that is any of these things, like we have a small team, so we're doing the best we can and as much as we can. But if somebody really thinks like there's some awesome work being done out there, for instance, on viewing your land and checking out the plots and visiting all the different places and getting rewards for doing it and blah blah blah. All that stuff's happening outside of us. I'm happy to support stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we couldn't do it. Like our team is not big enough to be able to do that and all the other things we have planned. But if the DAO wants to do it, they certainly can, and we would certainly work with the DAO. So that's a good example. This abstain button is something that if they felt it was important enough, sure. I don't know how expensive it would be, but it would be something. It's not just switch a button. All right, next, MFN truck again. Has it been discussed for there to be an adventure mode, exploration mode for land? Matt, has that been discussed?
I mean, there have been all sorts of interesting ideas floated around for all different types of game modes like that for land. I mean, but at this point, we're focusing on the current plan for land and not really on any other types of stuff.
And that is one of the ones that a community member is doing. So it's pretty kick-ass, actually. And he's got a lot of ideas. So it may happen, but again, something like that's going to happen outside of our group that we have now. So that's something that if the DAO's interested in, they can, work on a proposal and make something happen. Next, Flonnie, will we see more skins from the new skin line, Cyberpunk? I don't know about the rest of the community, but I would love to collect them all on the older cards and get complete sets. The answer is yes. All the skin lines that we have are expandable. So we have plenty of cards over the years, and we have plenty of lines now. So I would imagine you will see more and more cards added to each skin line as time goes. Next, Doombot. Do regular Conclave Arcana foil reward cards in the same time as the premium foil reward draws? In about 10 weeks. The foil reward.
I think he's saying, or like, will you still be able to get the reward cards?
The reward
from the
cards.
Glint shop.
Oh, those are limited. So there's only a fixed number, and once they run out, they run out.
We talking about the regular ones. Then when I think like the Glint, I think he means like the Glint rewards cards, unless I'm misunderstanding something.
Yeah, well, when you use your Glint, you go buy the cards in the shop, and you roll, and you get potentially you get a gold foil, for instance, out of there. Those are limited. So if they're still in there while you're still able to buy, then for instance, the commons are going to run out first. So the commons are going to run out, then you won't be able to get a common gold foil, on the draws. But you may still be able to get the epics or the legends, for instance. It depends.
You'll still be able to get the regular foil ones, right?
Yeah, you'll still be able to get the regular foil.
That's what he's asking.
Okay.
Will you still be able to get the regular foil cards when the gold foils run out?
Gotcha. Yes, you will be able to get the regular until such time as we do any kind of switch over. So as long as they're still in the shop, which will be after 10 weeks, as long as they're in the shop, then you'll be able to get the regular, even when the gold foils run out. So yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Matt. All right, gathering. Will research be tradable in some way, or does the owner have to produce their own research?
Research is not going to be tradable, but you will be able to purchase trifoil runes from a castle or keep owner, and then utilize another player's runology tower to produce your own research, if you need any. So you don't actually have to even really have land or have any buildings or do anything, if in order to get research. You can buy the ingredients essentially, and then utilize someone else's building to produce.
All right, cool. Next, Lonnie, did a skin crafting building for land ever come across your new land ideas discussion? It sounds like a relatively easy win with zero gameplay impact, but still fun and desirable. Yes, Lonnie, it certainly has come across for ideas. If you notice in the Vision of Erico, we actually have one at level 4. So if you have level 4, then you're able to craft skins. In this case, it doesn't require buildings because we did not have buildings. But yes, that's a very successful use of land to be able to craft more skins.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like anything that like is normally just sold or crafted in the game, and anything new that we add to be sold or crafted, it's going to be kind of like the first question is, does it make sense to do this through a land building? And hopefully most of the time the answer will be yes.
Yep. And that's going to also include cards and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're just getting started. Intrepid Surfer, now that you were touching upon items and spells, would it be possible to share any concepts or ideas you have for this? You know, that's not a promise, but we would like to dream. Thank you.
Yeah,
how much do you want to share there, Matt?
Well, I mean, I think that the concepts and ideas are the same that we've always talked about, so we can go over them. again. I mean, the idea is that they're a new type of cards in addition to archons and units that are items and spells. Like items would generally be something that you can equip to a specific unit in the battle, whereas spells would be something that more generally affects the battle. And then you obviously be able to craft them through the land, buildings, and resources. Um, and then when you go into a battle, the thinking is it's sort of like tactics, right? Tactics was like a thing that we put out, in the same vein as items and spells earlier on. But you enter your teams, you see the battlefield, and then you and your opponent would be able to, use equip items or cast spells in order to try to change the ultimate outcome of the battle. So, I think Royal Eagle has been working with some AI tools to create some like proofs of concept for it. Um, I've generally shown that we can do it and it can work. You know, uh, Obviously, still a lot of work to do to like make that a thing in the game, but it's actually, I'd say, a lot closer than I thought it has been in a long time. Um, and is still the ultimate planned like goal of land, uh, is to be the exclusive way to produce those new types of cards to be added to the game.
Right. And only thing I would say is, you know, in doing it, we want to make sure that we do it right. So we're not going to rush it. And I know people have been waiting a long time for items and spells, but we are getting to the point where we actually have working prototypes. But again, using AI, not actually in our system. And just even with that, I just know there's tons of questions. I just went through a 15-page document this morning actually on it. So things like that, there's lots of things. Are they consumable? Do they, you know, if they're consumable, how are they going to be consumable? Blah blah blah. Like there's lots of these kind of questions that need to be fleshed out. But we are working on it, and we will deliver at some point. I would say in 2027. I don't think it's a 2026 item. It could surprise us, but I would say most likely 27. So I also reserve the right to move it up if for some reason it changes. Um, Question is phase one of land two coming with a land UI revamp. I believe that the last part of the entire website has not been mobile friendly. I don't believe so, Flonnie, or Flowey. We don't have the capacity to do that right now. I mean, we pushed as hard as we can push and funded what we can fund to get what we're doing done. It was pretty ambitious, what we did. So I don't believe a rework of the UI, especially for mobile, is on the table at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to be updating the UI. I mean, we need to add in all the new resources and all the new stuff that's happening, but we're not like redoing the whole thing to make it, mobile friendly and all that. Again, this whole thing was like, how can we like what's the minimum we need to do to get this new stuff out and working for the community in a reasonable and realistic budget and time frame.
And keep in mind, everybody, we're working on, 25% of what we were this time last year. So we're really focused on making sure we deliver the things that are most important. Everything's important, but we're having to prioritize what's most important and delivering the best bang for a buck. So as you can see, we're putting out a lot of things. And yes, of course, I definitely, I got many regions with many different plots, and yeah, I wish it was improved too, but it's just going to have to wait a little longer. Gathering the Magic question. With the huge success with Visions of Erico set as far as trading and community engagement, are there plans for a future set that only has common cards, so there's no chase cards to encourage more trading? I've done more trades with that set than any other time in Splinterlands. Also love getting 20 cards per pack. I would say that was a proof of concept. I agree with your conclusion gathering. I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. Some people didn't. But I would say the people that did buy it enjoyed the process. So, there's something to be said for doing it the way we did that. But again, it's just one of the many ways we can do things. And yeah, I would think in the future we would see more things like that. 20 card packs without all the chase cards and just, having people have to work together. So again, it was proof of concept. And in my eyes, I believe it was positive. Next, King A. Will Battle for Pretoria have the same jackpot mechanics for Conclave Arcana? Personally love the dynamic that the packs will get more interesting towards the end rather than the previous ones that dithered out in terms of excitement towards the end. Of course, make adjustments to the gold foil, black foil disparity, blah, blah, blah. I believe the answer is yes. I don't see any reason why the jackpot mechanics for Conclave Arcana does not carry forward into the future. Like you said, there will be some modifications, possibly to some of the makeup, but the general gist of having, cards that you can get that are fixed, that's, in my opinion, a very good tool to drive more demand, and Conclave Arcana showed it. We did more sales in Conclave Arcana than we did in Rebellion. So despite the fact that, we had to make cuts, it wasn't due to lack of sales for Conclave Arcana. So I would imagine that will carry forward.
Yeah, that worked out real well. I think most everybody really liked that mechanic.
Yeah. And I'm still holding packs that I want to wait and get that black foil Arcane Yaba.
Yeah, me too. Don't take it from me.
Yeah. All right, Ron, do we have any more questions or are we good? You want to throw it up? Any more questions? Feel free to ask. Otherwise, we're going to shut off questions here in a second. Okay. I see King A's typing, so your grandfather then King. Love your card, by the way. All right, here's from Canada. Can we get a craftable potion that has a higher chance for gold foil or black foil?
Well, we already have the black foil one. That's the midnight potion. And then, we didn't do a craftable gold foil potion because we have the alchemy potions that are already in the shop. But I think generally, like, we're always thinking on those lines, like what are cool new things we can have that can be craftable, that add value to, not just packs, but everything else in the game. So my hope, we have some cool ideas, and my hope is that we'll see some of that as soon as the next Battle for Pretoria set by the end of this year.
Yeah, we're planning on Battle for Pretoria having a lot of cool new things, and those drive demand. So I'm excited about Battle for Pretoria. All right, we got a couple more coming in. King and Peace, and No Peace, actually, and Fly. Blaze, you want to say anything while we got a little break?
No, I'm just I'm happy to see the community and the team just keep pushing forward, and yeah, it's showing that we're resilient, and yeah, I've been getting out a little bit. I've done a couple of X spaces, and but right now I'm head in the sand with Battle for Pretoria, so I'm learning about new stuff. And sorry guys, I'm not out there. Well, I guess I am posting quite often in the announcement channel. Lily had me drop another one, so we're getting stuff out. I think our model right now is ship first and explain later. That's what it seems like, because I can't even keep up with everything that's going on. Like Royal and them are working on some glowing stuff, and we're adjusting the binders, and I just don't know what's going out and what release and what not. But it's really fun to see everything just keep happening, and all the excitement behind the skins. I mean, that just shows there's a demand there for them, and it's really fun to have just fun, cool stuff in our game, and that's what we're doing. And that's the most important thing, is having fun. Everything else will come. So I'm glad everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the last few questions came in, so
yeah, you can go ahead, Ron.
and
Go ahead, cut it off. Yep. All right. So King A, will Battle for Pretoria conflict airdrops be handled like CA or like escalation? Personally, as a small player, I felt CA variant offered better chances to pull a gold flow versus the new system. That's still, I answered this a little earlier. It's still undecided. We'll evaluate at the end of escalation and then make a decision. I certainly welcome the feedback. There's definitely pros and cons of doing it both ways. So we'll look at it. And some small players like it the way it is now because they have a chance versus where they really didn't the other way. But nonetheless, we'll definitely check. But the idea behind the conflicts is to make sure we keep the print rates in line, which we have been doing in escalation, and that is a major plus. So the cards are holding up better in value because there's less of them. No piece for you. These potions, question, those potions currently available for Glint are moving to buildings or no? So I guess he's asking the legendary potions and the alchemy potions, Matt, do you know if those are going to go to buildings or are those going to stay purchasable with Glint?
we're not changing anything about those for this next release.
Okay. All right. And then last, Fly, I don't know why I keep saying Flonny, but Flowey. How can the army of vibe coders support you? Multiple Max, Claude, and Codex accounts just under my hood alone. First, you want to go take a stab at that, Matt?
Well, I'd say, I mean, as far as I know, we're using those, AI coding tools pretty heavily. But, investigator can probably confirm that we do need to review everything before putting anything out. So, there's still like a limitation there. We can't just like spin up 10,000 of them and do 10,000 features at the same time. So, but we are really heavily utilizing that stuff, and that's really allowed us to continue, like Dave's mentioned, with a quarter of the resources, still produce, a similar amount of work.
And I would also say your question is less about the vibe coding and more about community participation. And I'm definitely a big fan of community participation. Like Amplux up there and said thanks for the mention on his new project. So things like ideas that you guys have, if you want to code them up and use AI to make them work, like knock yourself out. Like we'll look. I'm happy to look at everything people come up with because you never know. It's like the old saying where you turn up a rock and see what's underneath, right? So I'm one of those guys that picks up every single rock to see if there's something underneath. So feel free to share. Feel free to create. You never know what we're going to come up with. One day I remember Royal came up with the idea of the binders, and a couple months later we have binders in the game. So you never know who comes up with the idea. If you understand how to vibe code, there's quite a few people that do. Leverage it. It's the vibe coding part just is a tool to enable you to do something that maybe you couldn't do before as efficiently. So having said that, I welcome it, and keep going and work with others too, Chloe. I think the community can work together to make a lot of things happen. The Arena Vanguard set, that was a group of community coordination. There was like 8 or 10 guys that were working together to create that. And now we're going to be expanding it going forward. So, it just took some people with enough, drive and interest, to make that happen. So feel free to, take it and run with it and message me and tell me what you came up with. That's all I can say.
I would mention on that, because that's a good point and something I've been playing around with mentally for a while. Like now with the opportunity, like with the AI coding, and there's so much more you can make. I think there's a lot of opportunity for our community to build like external things for Splinterlands. Even like other little games or mini games or whatever that just use DEC or SPS tokens could be super valuable for the ecosystem. I mean, in the past, like there was the whole ordeal with like the tower defense game, and we spent a bunch of money and time in building that, and that was obviously like that didn't work out. But now you could pretty much do that without needing to involve us at all, and without needing to spend a whole bunch of time and money. If you're able to use the AI coding tools effectively, like having that stuff where we didn't have to go out and do $1 million pack sale to try to support it, but it's just like, here's a new game. It all uses DEC and it uses Splinterlands cards and whatever. Like if anyone in the community wants to go out and do stuff like that, I mean, that could be hugely beneficial in making this more of an ecosystem. And I mentioned it also, like the DAO. Obviously, the DAO works very closely with Splinterlands, and we're the main use case for everything. But the DAO is really just about the SPS token and going and using AI to be able to have additional use cases outside of Splinterlands for the SPS token could do wonders for everything in the ecosystem. So that's the type of stuff, in addition to working on land and the other things I'm doing, that I throw around in the back of my mind, like how can we utilize these new tools to do some of this other stuff that can really help out this ecosystem.
Yep, 100%. In fact, Blaze has done a little project on his own that I'm actually going to share with you guys, or have him share. It's not, we haven't quite sure what to do with it yet, but it's pretty badass. So I'm going to have him work with Ron here to give you a quick, display it. And we did have another question that came in since. So while he's doing that, let me answer the question from Megan Marcus. Since there are AI designed cards, you could also ask community members for designs. Cards could get a creator sign or name. I agree 100%. Like for instance, when we did the Arena Vanguard set, we leaned heavily on the design of the card, like concept of the card from the individuals, that were going to get the cards. And then we had, somebody using AI to be able to pull it all together and match our style and, make sure it looked good. And then we took it from there. So it really leverages a lot from our end because we're getting a close to finished project, which means we just have to spend time polishing. We don't have to create it from scratch, which really speeds along the process. So yes, the answer is yes. Community members designing is a thing. Like Princess Clove is one that I'm working with on getting her card up. So she gave us the ideas, and then we'll take it from there. So Blaze, can you share that? Are you ready?
I just messaged Ron. I don't know if he's there, but if I can share my window, cool. If not, I can fire up a Paintforge and show it off.
Also, please post the no more questions.
So I'm just gonna share my...
no more questions. I'll put the no more questions out while he's getting Blaze up, because it takes the next 7 minutes. All right, Ron, you were too fast. Yeah, this is pretty neat. So to give you a little context, Blaze has been working using AI, the vibe coding, so to speak. He created a little game. It's a game that all the old people know back in the day. But it looks pretty cool and it works.
Yeah, the idea behind it was to
all right, there you go.
Can I mute it? No, but I can.
You can mute the tab.
Or you can turn the volume down.
Is that better?
No.
Because it sounds cool.
He likes the sound. He couldn't do it. All right. Turn your volume down. There you go. All right, show him, Blaze.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, the sound is really cool. By the way, it's got a really cool arcade vibe. But the goal here was to do something from start to finish, right? Um, and just like you were saying, like we had so many ideas. We all have ideas. I'm buried in ideas. I have a lot of good ideas that are buried. But this is something I started because of Brave Tofu. He had posted something about vibe coding, and I was like, all right, let me get something going. I think this was last June or something. And bottom line is the goal is to get something from start to finish and done and be able to see it come to life with no other help. This was just me, like until 2 a.m, you know, like when I get done, I just go and tinker with this and find a way to bring value to Pretoria in other ways, right? Because our game is great. I mean, our main game is the sole reason we're focused here and we're building, but there's no reason why we can't explore to introduce people to the game in another way, right? So this is just one way. Maybe there's somebody that doesn't want to play with 100 plus abilities and so on, and they just want to play a little game, and maybe they want to start collecting Rexies in their binder, right? Or maybe they want to find out some more about this is just a way to bring other people in or give somebody else something to do that's kind of an icebreaker. But it is fully functional. We got a little 80s vintage slot here. I don't know if you can see. Let me move that. But we have 50 deck per game. This is just, again, a concept. After full screen, everything's workable. And then I hit start. Again, the audio is what it's all about. I got really good audio on all the levels. But basically, Rexy goes around and he...
Yeah, you can turn it on now.
Can you hear?
Nope. You muted us.
Can you hear now?
Hey. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me speak?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, cool. So fully functional, you know, inspired by the good old Pac-Man, but there's a lot of depth to it. I don't know if I can get past level 1 to get to level 2, but I'm gonna go ahead and die there so I can show you guys something fun that I've built in. But you know, creativity is your limit here, right? You can be as creative as possible. Rexy's the star of the show right here, right? It's called Rexy Chomp. He's going away. I got all the beta ghosts. I actually saw Gold Matters, I think, on X recently buy all of these. Not because of this, but it was just funny that he went and was buying alpha cards and beta cards, and it so happened to be these ones. And they all have, I have a whole menu of like what's what. I have an achievement board where you can do daily achievements. And there's a lot of depth to it. Well, it just looks like a normal game. There's a lot of depth. So I cleared the map, the good old fireworks like in the past with the arcade games. You'll see enter the pickle chase. So I died. So as a chance to gain another life because the levels get more and more complicated. It's really fun. I gotta tell you, like,
they can win Glint.
Well, the goal is like if you see the glint on the top right, there's 211. Oh, the chicken got me, son of a gun. You see Furious Chicken got me? So there's 211 glint on this map. How we're going to integrate that, I don't know, but that was kind of like the idea of like there's the pickle. Let me see if I can get the pickle. Come on, pickle, come here. I got him.
Playing with my pickle.
There's Matt. So, and then the dragon's going around. He gives a warning at first, but then he'll start burning glint off the map, right? So it kind of encourages you to play smart. But yeah, these it's fun. I mean, it's fully functional. I created this from start to finish. It was just like, you know, leveraging off of the technology and figuring out what worked better. With my skills of making skins and such, I was able to make like the decals as you see on the side there with Rexy. I just brought our art in. I talked to it, told it what I wanted. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I even integrated something with No Peace for You here on the next level. But I haven't beat the game myself. I have 5 levels. I got the level 4, but then I'm always making iterations to clean it up. But yeah, it's super fun. Just something, you know, a little icebreaker. Like we can do little marketing things here to bring in, right? I don't know what it is, but just to see how it works. Maybe we can do even like not boring tutorials, but bring some fun to our cards and do things like this with our characters and show them, hey, what does this card do? And have like a little battle scene to like show them what sneak does or what does opportunity do instead of in our game. Find a different way to showcase it. Because as you guys all know, that our game's a little, it's complex, right? It's hard to explain in an elevator pitch. So little things like this just might help us get there. Oh, no piece for you. Oh no, look at, they're going crazy after me. I had it turned off. I had it where when I run over the glint, the no piece for you stops. But it is pretty intense. Those guys go crazy after me, and I have 8 seconds to survive. So, anyways,
All right.
that's good enough for now.
All right, you can turn it off. So I just want to point out, like things like this. You mentioned it about the community, working together to do things, and Matt was just talking about how there's a lot of these kind of things. I just wanted to show you how, Blaze is doing it, and not just Blaze, but Brave Tofu and iBlast and Amplux. I mean, there's a lot of people that are working on things. So a year from now, it's amazing. I think what we're going to end up seeing. So just wanted to bring that up. That's all.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't have anything planned for that, but I'm glad I was able to.
Well, yeah, I
demo
didn't know that was going to happen right after I talked about that. But like, you mentioned Glint may be a little more difficult because that's fully an in-game token. But like, you could just, if you actually charge 50 DEC to do it, you could do that. You don't need any help from the team, right? You could have half of it go to you as the developer and half of it go as a reward pool to people, on the leaderboard of the game, right? So you can do all these things, build a fully functional game with reward that rewards people. You can make money off of it as a developer. All using the Splinterlands ecosystem as the way to have an audience, right? It's hard. One of the hardest things with games is to get an audience for them. So if you build something that uses Splinterlands assets, I would imagine the Splinterlands community would be at the very least interested in trying it. That's stuff I've been thinking about, like how to get our community involved in doing more stuff like that. Which is now really so much more possible because of the AI tools available.
Yeah, if I can do it, just about anybody can do it. I mean, I have a little bit of a jack of all trades and everything, but like to be able to create something from start to finish or fully functional, it's super fun that we can expand on. But it's just that, again, bringing value to Praetoria. And how can we do that? I think it's by tying in our tokens and such. So I don't know where this is going to go. Also, we have to worry about security. That's something to always be concerned about. So whoever's building, we can't just dump everything on Harry. We have to figure out a plan to make sure that everything's safe. So
well, that's what I mean for like if it's a completely third-party thing, you can use Splinterlands tokens and do all that and not at all touch any Splinterlands security-related stuff. So it doesn't have to involve investigator or anybody.
Yeah.
That's where the real possibilities come into play.
Yeah, and speaking of your point, Matt, like we could put together packages if you're charging Glint and want to give out. If you're charging deck and want to give out Glint, then we can offer good deals. Like you get, whatever, 1 million Glint for whatever, 100 deck, blah, 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 and so there's a built-in for you there. So
yeah, you could also just give out the deck,
right, that too. But yeah, or the point is we can get creative and get excited about it, or create excitement. In terms of Flowey, there are no more questions, but I'll go ahead and answer this one. Can we release the Soul Keep assets, images for the cards, in-game towers? We, the community, own that as part of Splinterlands, don't we? I don't know the answer to that question. Matt, do you?
I mean, it should be. Yeah, well, Splinterlands owned all of that. The other studio was only, building it for us.
Okay.
Well, that's true. Well, I let me take that back a little bit. I believe at the end of the day, we ended up, selling them the rights to Soul Keep in order to have them be able to keep building the game. So I don't know if that's true that we own those asset rights anymore. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Okay, so Flowey, send me a message and we'll look into that and find out. Like they might just say, sure, no problem. Even if they have the rights, like they may just say no problem.
Yeah, that right. All right. Well, I think it's been a we're a little over the 2-hour mark. Obviously, as always, it's like lots and lots of stuff to talk about, more stuff than we can prepare for or think about ahead of time. It always comes up as we go through. Thank you again to everyone. Thank you to Lily Fire for coming on and showing all the stuff that her and the team have been working on there. Thank you to the community for everything. As we talked about earlier, you guys are what keep us. And we will be back in September for the next town hall.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.